Tea with Z. My name is Mo Solanki, and it's an absolute pleasure to be joining each and every one of you this morning on another episode. And if you are watching live, or even if you're watching a replay, give me a like, give me a heart, because as you know, that energy exchange is truly awesome. And that's what we're all about here each and every morning during the week on Tea with Z. Now, a special shout out to those that have joined us from the Limitless Network. The Limitless Network is a group of like-minded people that have really come together, I guess like-minded in the sense that they value health. And as a result of that, really, have joined a network of other people around them to actually empower one another along their entrepreneurial journey, but not only just for themselves, but for their community, their friends, their family as well. So if you are watching, or if you know of somebody that truly values health, bring them on the journey with you, and that's the group there. All right, so today, jumping into our topic today, I was over the weekend and I was watching a show, and I've kind of been roped back into it just to put a show on in the background. It's called Suits, and Suits is a show on Netflix at the moment, and in Australia, might be on various other means overseas if you're watching from overseas. But essentially, Suits is about a law firm based in New York, and a law firm that in my opinion, is extremely dysfunctional. Of course, it is a TV drama at the end of the day, but you might know it because Meghan Markle, who's now married to Prince Harry, was actually an actress on this show prior to getting married. And I've been watching the show in the background, and really, I guess, not so much as really engaging actively with the show, but really what's enthralled me about the show is not only one that people talk about it quite avidly. People love this show, and that's why, what first got me into it is a lot of hype around the show, people talking about the show, and it's now into, I think it's eighth or ninth season. And as a result of that, there's been a lot of chatter about it, and not just to mention Meghan Markle, obviously her involvement in the show and then marrying Prince Harry, but also about, I guess the dramatization of the high life of working in a corporate law office in a big global city. But one thing that's really, allowed me to sit back and really think deep about this show and really deep dive into the show when I've been watching it is their workplace culture and the enthralling nature of a dramatized series about a culture within a high tier firm and all the glitz, the glamour of, I guess, high society being in a very respective role in a very big society, that being New York. And what really enthralled me about the show was, I guess, its culture, but more importantly, about what a culture shouldn't be like. When you watch the show, and I'm not going to drop any spoilers in this show right now, but you're looking at senior levels of management, senior partners within the organization, named partners, so their names are on the door. Their name is the brand, like my name is my brand. But when you look at the impacts of their type of leadership, their types of direction, their types of inputs to their team, you've got to really wonder and go, well, one, how real is this? How close is this to the actual fact? And two, just by looking at this, what type of workplace culture and even humanitarian policies are they violating in order to lead or manage their organization the way that they do? And what it really allowed me to really sit back and when watching this show is really understand, well, geez, not only is this show completely and utterly dysfunctional, like how is this law office still actually existing? But it allowed me to really reflect on and pick up on all the cultural nuances within an organization that I believe are really, really detrimental to organizations in the real world, but maybe, and I've actually seen play out to a lesser degree and maybe nothing so obvious in the workplace that is really impacting the culture within an organization. So I guess the role of a drama, and a TV drama particularly, is to dramatize things, is to literally blow things out of proportion. But when you scale it back, when you pare it back, the fundamental things that they're blowing out of proportion, I'm still seeing within workplaces that I work with, that I interact with, and I engage with within an organization. And maybe it's not to that extent, but the roots are still there. And something that I really wanted to touch on today and going, well, what are those things? What are those things that are still playing out within an organization to a lesser extent? And how can we start to look at addressing those? And one thing within Suits itself is Suits is extremely fiery. You know, the named partners are always yelling at the senior partners, always yelling at associates, always yelling at their teams, at their colleagues. They're very quick to react. And so one thing that I see within organizations on a lesser scale is that they are very quick to judge and very quick to react. They don't pause, they don't take a moment to reflect and to see what is happening within their organization before making a decision. Before making a decision and then acting upon that decision. And as a result of that, without taking that pause to reflect, we react. And when we react, we undertake actions with unintended consequences. We take actions that, on reflection, weren't in the best interest for our company, for ourselves, for our team, for our colleagues, for our leadership style. And as a result of that, there are long-term detrimental impacts from reacting. And that's what we see really play up in time and time in this show, is that they are very quick to judge, very quick to react. And as a result of those actions, based on those reactions, things start to snowball. And of course, that's a drama. That's a drama. But where does that show up for you in your business? When was one time that you've reacted way too quickly to something without taking the time to find all of the information, gather all of the information, make an informed decision, and as a result of that, reflect and then take action? And as a result, the actions that you've taken are much more meaningful, are much more directed, are much more judgment-free, are much more purposeful. When was the last time that you actually sat back and did that? Because at the end of the day, we can all snap. We can all snap very, very quickly. And maybe during this week is probably what I'm going to do, is cover off maybe all the different elements of the show that I think is starting to pick up, and in my opinion, have been translated back not so much into the dramatized form within your own business. But one thing that I've noticed, and the first thing that I did want to touch on, is where do you react in your organization? Is it to a customer that's come in blaring? Are you even that patient, that customer or consumer that has come in guns blazing without obtaining all of the information, all the relevant information to the company that you're dealing with? And as a result of that, holding judgments against them. And then on reflection, going, oh, you know what? I overreacted. And so that's my question for you today, is what is one thing in your business right now that you have overreacted to, or haven't paused and taken the time to reflect on, to really deep dive and understand why that situation occurred the way it did, to debrief as to why it happened in the way it happened, and then to respond in a way that helps to ensure that whatever actions you take next are really on purpose, are really measured and calculated in a way that has understood the entire context of the situation. So when's the one time that you have done that in your business? When's the one time that you haven't done that in your business? Sorry, I should say. And drop a comment in the comment section below. And what was the outcome of that? Now, you don't have to be super, super specific, because of course we all work in different businesses, shapes or forms. But even in your personal life, when was one time that you reacted in a way that on reflection could have been handled completely differently? And, we see in Hollywood all the time, the teacher throwing the duster at the student, and at the end of the day, you look at the society we live in now and we go, well, shit, that wouldn't fly at all. But you look at even these workplaces and these cultures depicted in these shows, and you sit back and you go, well, wait a minute, what parts of these shows can I relate to? on some way, shape, or form. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that full dramatized version, but it's these some way, shapes, or forms that at the end of the day that these creators and directors and writers have then dramatized and blown up. But when you peel it back to its core roots, what does it look like for you? What does it look like for you in your business, in your world right now? So that's my question to you is, when was one time that you reacted when you should have paused and reflected and then taken action? And what were the consequences of that? Drop a comment in the comment section below, because I'm really, really curious to find out. And what we're going to do during this week, and as a lot of you know, I get up in the morning and I just talk about reflections on these episodes of T with Z. So for the remainder of the week, I'm going to start to dissect maybe other parts of this show that have popped up and start to maybe relate it back to you as to what you do within your organization and how you can take what's an over dramatized version of the worst case scenario, in my opinion, and really reflect and pare down, well, what are you doing right now that, if unchecked, is leading to a dramatized version or will lead to a dramatized version in your culture. So that's it from me today. I really look forward to seeing a little bit of a change in tack this week, but something that I'm excited about. And I look forward to seeing your comments in the comments section below. And if you don't want to, push it out there too publicly, that's what the Limitless Network is all about. It's a private group of like-minded people that value health in any way, shape, or form. And that's what we're all about here. So that's it from me. Have an amazing, amazing day. And yeah, I really look forward to reading your comments in the comment section below. And if you do have any questions or anything like that, yeah, let's chat it out as well. So that's it from me. Have an amazing day. I really look forward to reading each and every one of your comments. And as you know, I respond to each and every one. So I will catch you tomorrow for another episode of T with Z. And yeah, have an awesome day and look forward to catching you then. Bye for now.